Looks great indeed. Hockeyland, a documentary that immerses audiences deep in the heart of Minnesota's North Country, where hockey means everything. It opened theatrically as the #1 documentary for the week of September the 9th, 2022, and was a Critics' Choice for Best Sports Doc. The film premieres right here on NHL Network on Christmas Eve at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to tune in. And we're lucky to be joined by the film's director, Tommy Haynes, and the star of the film, Blake Biondi. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Tommy, let's start with you. What inspired you to make the film?
Well, this is Northern Minnesota hockey, and it's like Friday Night Lights football there. And it's where I grew up playing. And it's something I've wanted to make for about 15 years now, since we first made our film, Pond Hockey. I wanted to find a high school story that was kind of like in the same way of Hoop Dreams did, of just finding these like 3 or 4 boys' stories and what that experience was like playing high school hockey in Minnesota.
Now, Blake, you were the star of the film. What was the process like playing through your season while being followed around by Tommy and his crew?
I'll say initially, definitely a little bit of annoying at times with him in our face, but it was actually ended up being awesome. He's a great guy. It turned into a great friendship, and actually, it was really cool. Obviously, my whole entire senior year with some of my best friends at school was just captured on film and put into a movie. So just overall, it's a great storyline and great year for me.
For both of you guys, describe what hockey culture is like in Minnesota. And Tommy, let's start with you.
I mean, it's a religion up there for sure. I mean, you think about all these small towns from 3,000 to 5,000 people that the dads volunteer flooding the rink. You get outdoor ice everywhere, and these high school games are just packed. The stadiums are full, and it's a religion. It's really fun to see that kind of sports culture still existing here in the States.
Blake, what do you say about all of this?
Yeah, I just have to add on to that. I think looking at like dads in the community, just going out from they get off work at 5, and then the kids are rink ratting after school until 8, 9 p.m. and then dads are coming after that and flooding all night long. And I think that just kind of sums it all up. It's a whole community that puts on an entire program, and it's definitely a way of life in Hermantown. And I think that's why we've been so successful.
Tommy, what's the hardest thing about making a hockey documentary?
Oh, well, in this case, it was just, these are the personal lives of these boys, right? And so one of our guys, Indio, his mom's suffering with cancer and he's got back problems. Blake's dealing with the pressures of being like the top player in the state that's going to have sports agents there. And so just being able to be kind of a friend and, someone that's also there supportive with them, because we're kind of going on the journey with these guys. And so that was something I wasn't quite expecting, but was most gratifying when it was all said and done. But it was really challenging at first, just getting to know the families and getting their approval to kind of film their 16, 17-year-old boys throughout their senior season.
Now, Blake, you were drafted by the Canadiens back in 2020. You're now playing at the University of Minnesota Duluth. What's the journey been like for you here in the last handful of years?
It's definitely been a journey. Right after high school, COVID happened and that everything got shut down. And so my freshman year was shortened. And then thankfully sophomore year was kind of back to normal. It just felt great to be playing hockey again. I think everyone kind of felt that. And then my junior year was tough. I ended up having a tough break with 2 shoulder surgeries. And that took me out for most of the year. And now I'm back and I'm kind of in that same feeling again, just really grateful that God's given me an ability to go play hockey again. And it's kind of in that mindset, like I said, just really grateful to play.
So, Tommy, what do you hope audiences will take away from this film?
Well, I think you see a lot of sports films that just kind of show a lot of these kids as kind of gladiators and larger than life figures. But I feel like we try to strip that away and show the personal side of this. These are just like hardworking families in northern Minnesota that I think a lot of hockey families will relate to their stories. I think a lot of parents will see their kids in the 4 guys that we follow here. So I hope that hits home with a lot of families around the country.
And for you, Blake, how has your life changed since being in the movie?
It's been fun. I think it's definitely over the course of the last couple of years. I didn't really honestly thought it was going to get this big. And so just like right now being on NHL Network, probably never would have thought of that even when they came in and were filming us my senior year. So I think it's just been a great experience. I've had some great relationships built off of it, starting with Tommy. Him and I have stayed in touch over the past few years, which is, I think, a special bond over something that's just really beautiful.
Tommy, from this experience, is you perhaps maybe motivated to do another movie like this?
Yeah, we keep getting asked about, the kind of the girls hockey in Minnesota is on the rise too. So like, why don't you do a girls hockey film? And I'd be interested in doing that. And I think there's so many towns across Minnesota that you could capture a similar story that we did here with Hockeyland. So I'm always drawn to these stories of, kind of a coming of age hockey story. And so something I'm always on the lookout for. But this one was such a gratifying project. And like Blake said, I became so close with these guys and their families that it's just been a really rewarding experience for me.
Blake, how about an acting career maybe after your hockey days are finished, if and when they finish?
We'll see.
You good at memorizing lines or what? We
No,
got the teleprompter behind me if you want to host a show.
That'd be awesome. No, I think thankfully, like Tommy said, it was just raw emotion, and I just had to go about my normal life, and he was able to capture it all. So I don't know about that. Hopefully, I can play this hockey long as I can. Tommy and Blake, thank you both so much for joining us, and best to both of you guys and your families during this holiday season.
Hey, thanks you too, Bill.
All right, Tommy and
Thank
Blake.
you, guys.
All right, great to have you guys with us. And this reminder, the film is Hockeyland, and it premieres right here on NHL Network Christmas Eve at 8 p.m. Eastern.